Have you ever had something you wanted to accomplish, but you just had a hard time sticking with it, or you had a hard time getting going with it? Well, that's because you might not have been ready, willing, and able. Let's talk about it. Hey, welcome to Unshakable Habits Live. I am your host, Stephen Box, and bringing you another tip today to take your habits from unsustainable to unshakable, even if you have zero willpower. I remember when I was at my heaviest weight, I was about 250 pounds. And at that time in my life, I was working in retail management and I would see myself on video on the security footage. And I would see pictures of myself from vacations that my wife and I would go on. And I didn't like the person I saw on those videos. And I didn't like the person I saw in those photographs. It didn't look like me. And when I think about where I was mentally at the time, I wanted to change. I wanted to get healthier. I wanted to lose the weight. In other words, I was ready. Okay. I had my why. What I didn't have at that moment was willingness. I was not willing to make the changes that I need to make. I wasn't willing to eat better or exercise or focus on my sleep or my recovery. I wasn't willing to try to better manage my stress. I wasn't willing to do anything because outside of my weight and not being happy with those pictures, I was quite happy and comfortable with life. I mean, I hated my job, but who doesn't, right? Well, I don't now. So I guess me. I guess I'm who. But at that moment I did. So when I look back at the point where I actually started having change, it's because my willingness changed. My readiness was still there. My readiness never went away, but the willingness came in. So I suddenly started to say, okay, you know what? I know I have to eat better, so I will. I know I have to exercise, so I will. I know I have to start taking better care of myself. I started realizing that maybe there was some stress eating, so I knew I had to try to reduce stress. I also started getting a lot of IBS symptoms because of my stress, so I knew I had to get that under control. So all of those things made me go from just being ready to being ready and willing. And to be honest with you, this is where a lot of people seek out my help. This is where a lot of my clients are when they come to me. They are both ready and willing, at least partially willing. They may not be fully willing at that point, but they're at least partially willing. And it's the able part that they're struggling with. So maybe it's a busy schedule. Maybe it's a newborn child at home who's keeping you up at night. Maybe it's a stressful job that constantly calls you in. Maybe it's a lack of food prep skills. Maybe it's not knowing how to control your stress levels. Maybe it's not having a great bedtime routine. All of those things and more can cause you to not be able to capitalize on your readiness and your willingness to achieve your goals. When I look at my situation at that time, I had to develop some skills. I had to learn what some healthier foods might look like. I had to learn how to eat proper portion sizes. I had to learn to listen to my body's hunger cues and only eat when I was truly hungry. I had to learn how to stop eating at a certain point so I wouldn't overeat. I had to learn what nutritionally dense foods were so that I wouldn't just consume a bunch of empty calories. As I moved away from work into home, I had to learn some cooking skills that I previously didn't have and so much more. We don't even have time in this video for me to tell you every skill I needed to develop. But the thing is, I didn't have to get them all up front. I just needed to develop enough to get going. I needed to create some ability. And as a coach, that's one of the things I do is I help people figure out what are those first movements that we really need to get going for you. So once I was able to do those, I was able to build upon those skills. And those skills are what allow our habits to become unshakable. You see, a lot of times, if we're ready and we're willing, but maybe we're not able or we're able to for a short period of time, we'll try to white knuckle it. And that's not sustainable. So, therefore, when we practice the skills and we increase our ableness in addition to our readiness and our willingness, that's when we go from unsustainable to unshakable. So that is it for today's daily live video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If so, make sure that you hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel right here on the oops, wrong side. Sorry, right down there on the right hand corner. And I will see y'all back tomorrow with another daily live video. This is Stephen Box reminding you that you can be better than good enough because you, my friend, can in fact be unshakable.